I'm here at the High Voltage booth, and I'm here with Eric, who's the lead designer on Conduit 2 that you will get to play in just a little bit.
That's right.
Could you tell us a little bit what you set out to try and achieve with Conduit 2?
Well, we did a lot technologically wise on the first game, but we wanted to do more with the game design, more for the fans, more for the reviewers who played our game. So we really listened to fan feedback. We read all the reviews, we listen to all the fan feedback, we accept email from fans and things like that. So we just really wanted to address all the concerns that fans had about the first game and just make a bigger and better game the second time around. So we did things like make more multiplayer modes, more multiplayer maps. We instituted a patching system so that we can attempt to deal with any hackers and things like that online. We can also patch the game for balance, weapons, and suit upgrades, things like that. Suit upgrades is another thing we upgraded from the first game. They kind of work like a perk system, but what's cool about it is any of the upgrades that you equip on your character most of them can be used in the single-player campaign as well, so that's pretty awesome. We added split-screen mode that a lot of fans wanted, so now they can play locally. All 14 game modes and all 12 multiplayer maps are available split-screen locally for 1 to 4 players. And we also added invasion mode, which is our horde-based cooperative mode where you can fight waves and waves of enemies and have a good time with your friends. Earn some money for the in-game store along the way.
Just more of everything, it sounds like. Do you feel like it's a particular kind of gamer that plays shooters on the Nintendo system rather than, say, on Xbox 360 or PS3? And is there something you have to think about there?
Well, sure. I mean, the Wii is depicted as a more casual system for sure. I wouldn't say that we made any real changes to the formula for a first-person shooter to handle those kind of gamers. The way I look at it, there's a lot of gamers out there that have Xbox 360s and PS3s. And for the ones that have a Wii as well, great. They can play it. And for people that only have Wii, we want them to be able to play a game that at least feature-wise is comparable to the big name shooters.
Well, speaking of the franchise as a whole, where do you want to sort of move the story and sort of the complexity of those kind of things in Conduit?
Well, we definitely ramped up the story the second time around. The first game, almost all the story was delivered through mission briefings and talking heads and things like that. Second time around, we have full cutscenes. We have pre-rendered cutscenes throughout the game, real-time cutscenes, more characters. So we really want to evolve the story to really make it more of a galactic scale as opposed to just Washington D.C. So just going from the first game to the second game, the game doesn't just take place in D.C. anymore. It's all over the world: China, Siberia, South America. There's a lot of locations now.
So one thing that you got a lot of positive feedback from on the first game was the fact that you could really customize your controls a lot, and the player could choose how he wanted the controls to work, because it was a little bit uncharted territory with first-person shooter on Wii. Could you tell us a little bit how you've evolved that for the second game?
For the second game, we just wanted to add a little more customization options. I mean, we still have all the customizable controls from the first game, but we also added Classic Controller and Classic Controller Pro support, and that is completely remappable as well. We also added support for the Wii Motion Plus to allow just for smoother aiming and things like that. And then also for your online character, in the first game we had a handful of models, and you could kind of pick some colors, and that's how you could customize your online persona. Now we've got 7 models, each one, well, almost every single one, with modular parts. So if you pick the Trust Guard template, there's 4 different heads, 4 different arms, 4 different torsos, and you can mix and match those however you want, and set the colors of primary and secondary colors on each and every piece. So you can really kind of make a custom model, and you can do that per loadout. We have up to 4 loadouts that you can customize that are primary weapon, secondary weapon, grenade type, and up to 4 upgrades. And each one of those loadouts can have its own individual model associated with it.
A lot to think about there. You also showed us a little something on the 3DS here, that you ported some of the assets from Conduit 2 to that. And could you tell us a little bit about what High Voltage is doing on 3DS and what you want to do?
Well, we definitely want to be working on 3DS. We're one of the first independent developers to get our hands on a dev kit, and so what we did was port the Quantum engine, which is our own proprietary engine that we use on Conduit. We ported it over to the 3DS, and we took some assets from Conduit 2, and we ported them over as well. And we didn't really have to change too much. I mean, the 3DS is a powerful little handheld, and it basically plays exactly like its big brother. And we've got a first-person view in there. We're experimenting with third-person. Right now it's just really a prototype, a tech demo, but to show that we can make something on 3DS. But we definitely want to make a future game in the series on there. It might be a prequel, who knows? But it's pretty exciting.
Sounds like there's a big future for the Conduit ahead. Thank you very much for your time.
Sure, thank you.